Pisces. I'm going to be doing a self-love tarot reading. These are general readings. If it doesn't resonate with you this week, come back next week. Maybe I can help you then. These are self-love tarot messages designed for Spirit to indicate to us areas where we might need to give ourselves more attention or more support, or areas where Spirit says we could be more authentic with ourselves. I do a 6-card spread, Pisces, and then the 7th card I get from Spirit message. I shuffled a little bit before we got started. Oh, that wasn't a good one, so let's do it one more time. Excellent. All right, Pisces, we can get started. I will clarify later on with the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. Beautiful cards. I will show everything to you as we go. In this first position, Spirit is telling me how you feel right now, Pisces. In the second position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to prioritize. In the third position, this could be something that you have put on the back burner, you're not really paying attention to, and Spirit just says, hey, it's time to focus on that again. In the fourth position, we have an area where Spirit wants you to be more authentic with yourself. Self-love is about self-acceptance, and we can't accept parts of ourselves that we won't acknowledge. Fifth position is something Spirit wants you to let go of. Probably doesn't serve you anymore. In the sixth position, it's going to be something Spirit wants you to acknowledge. Maybe you're aware of it, maybe you're not, but Spirit definitely wants to draw your attention to it. And the seventh, like I said, is Spirit message. So, Pisces. Ooh, this is good energy. You are feeling like the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is like one of my favorite queens. But in this deck, she gives off different vibes. On the traditional deck, the Queen of Pentacles, you see her and she's sitting on her throne and she is surrounded by greenery and life, and she has her pentacle in her hands and she's looking down at it like a mother looks at a child. And the idea is that she has nurtured that pentacle so much that she was able to like create a life around it, like a kingdom. She didn't, because she's not the king, but she created like a whole area. She reminds me a lot of the Divine Feminine, the Empress in the deck, because if you always look at the Empress, she's also surrounded by abundance. Here in this deck, our queen is not surrounded by abundance. She's actually by herself. And that always makes me think of self-nurturing, and that's amazing. Amazing energy. Pisces, right now the universe is telling me that you're in self-nurturing energy. I bow to your greatness, Pisces, I bow. Because self-nurturing is, one, incredibly hard to even realize that you need, and two, is like really difficult to get into the practice of. So many people seek for validation outside of themselves, Pisces. So the fact that you're realizing that you don't need outside validation and that you can give yourself what you need is inspiring. I bow again to your greatness. It's very good. Let's see. In the position of something Spirit wants you to prioritize. Failure. No wonder you're in this self-nurturing energy, Pisces. Do you feel like you've let yourself down? Do you feel like you failed? I have good news for you. Failure is just a word. It's not a place. You can't live there. It's a word. It's not a state of being. You can't be a failure. You can't. I'm super sorry. That just doesn't work like that. Because it's a word. It's like cup or card. You can't be a cup. I mean, you could be a cup. But then why are you watching tarot videos? See what I mean? Rejection and failure, they're just words. When you're rejected from something, rejection is protection. I always believe that. Rejection is redirection. If you're rejected from something, it wasn't for you. And big fucking whoop, there are trillions of things in the universe that could be for you, Pisces. Don't feel like a failure. But the universe put this card in the position of something it wants you to prioritize. So if there is an area where you feel like you aren't doing well, acknowledge that. It's okay to fail at things. It just means it wasn't for you. And in that way, you can also be a really good, it was my hair, I thought something was on my arm. You can be a really good role model for people around you. when we acknowledge, because like Pisces, we're at the end of our iterations, right? We're at the end of our cycles. And so you may not realize this, but actually a lot of people look up to you. They do. Maybe they don't like acknowledge it, or maybe like they don't give you the credit you obviously deserve, but there are a lot of situations that we have been through that others have not, because we're on our last iteration. Maybe they don't understand. But when we showcase things that we've been through, because of our resilience as water signs, but then also as Pisces, we are allowing other people to like see our progress. We are role models for the universe all the time. So right now, I'm getting this sense that it's pretty good. The universe wants you to prioritize this failure. Maybe there was something that you tried to do and it just didn't work out the way you wanted to, and that's okay. But just deal with it. If you feel like a failure, don't just pretend like nothing happened. Like, acknowledge it, because one, acknowledging it is going to be really good for you, but also, again, like I said, really good for the people around you. In this third position, damn Pisces. Damn. The universe is saying that there has been something that you have not dealt with. Both of these things right here. Failure and ruin. So the universe is saying prioritize your feelings of failure. And if you were feeling the Ten of Swords, this ruin, and you decided to not deal with it, now is that time. The universe is saying take this off the back burner and pay more attention to it now. Something in the past, something that's happened, this Ten of Swords, the universe wants you to acknowledge it and deal with it, okay? I always think of the Ten of Swords as ego death, so it's not really that bad either, Pisces. I think of an ego death as like a geode or like a rock, you know? When we see crystals or when we see geodes, they usually come in like big rocks, and you actually have to chip away that exterior and then polish it down to see the beautiful gems inside. I always think of the Ten of Swords like that. It's just polishing away that outside. Self-nurturing energy because of failure and ruin. Let's see what the universe wants you to acknowledge. The Ace of Swords. You've come through something, Pisces. You've come through, and the universe has given you information because of that. I don't know what it is, but the universe wants you to acknowledge this. We have to clarify later on because I have absolutely no idea. The Hanged Man. The universe wants you to let go of the Hanged Man. That's in your fifth position. Okay, Pisces. I guess whatever it is, we've learned, and we can come down from the tree now. Apparently, we thought we had to get this new perspective. We did get this new perspective. Let's see. The universe wants you to recognize death and rebirth. Wow. Wow. I don't even know what this is about, but this is a tremendous freaking story. Let's look at spirit message. Wow. The sun. Illumination. Joy. Wow. This is a spread, Pisces. So, wow. It seems that in the past, you have gone through some kind of situation. It felt like failure and it felt like an ego death. But the universe has brought you clarity. There was something that we got up on our tree for. What were we on our tree for? We needed to find a different perspective to look at something. And we did. We found it. And so now the universe is saying, climb down from your tree, Pisces. That is not a message I expected. I never expected to see the universe be like, be less like a Pisces. But because the ideas have already come, there was something that you had to acknowledge, and you already acknowledged it. And the universe is saying that you have come through your test, and now you're being reborn. Death and rebirth, Pisces. I feel like this is kind of like the very first reading I did for us. It was something about like how we tend to see things, but then what reality really is. And they told us, Spirit said, you know, get up on your tree. And I'm not trying to do like a continuation of readings. I try for these to be different every week because I have no idea who's actually seeing them. But this kind of reminds me of that. And then the Sun. Wow, this is really great. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify, because I feel like the story is also already here. There was something that happened. Maybe you didn't deal with it the way that you should have, but you can, because the universe gave you the information that you needed. Come down off the tree. There's no different way to see this. We're moving on. We're going to be reborn into sunlight. I'm not upset. I'm not. Okay, let's see. So we said, or the universe said, I was going to say the government. The government said that you're feeling like the Queen of Pentacles. No, the universe said that you are in this self-nurturing energy. Damn, and what did they say the Queen of Pentacles reminded me of? The Divine Feminine. Pisces, we're in our feels. I mean, where else would you find us, right? Dumb. Okay. Discernment. Okay, Pisces, we have gone within. We are doing self-nurturing. We know what we need, but we need to be careful. Discernment is probably the biggest lesson that I'm having to learn. I'm extremely bad with, it's so funny because like I have degrees in communication and I've taken psychology and I'm in my 30s and I know about people and, but for whatever reason, I just can't help it. I am not good with sarcasm. People who don't mean the things they say. If you say something to me, I'm going to be like, sweet, let's do it. Let's go. All right, perfect. But if you didn't mean it, I don't know that you didn't mean it. I'm not autistic. I just can't pay attention. So for me, discernment is super important. I have to remember to take a second between what people are saying to me and actually think about whether or not I know this thing to be true. That's important. If somebody's in your life and they're telling you something, Pisces, it's up to you to practice discernment, because did you know that it takes two people to lie? One person to lie and the other person to not question it. That's true. If somebody is lying to you, you're making that possible by not following up, not asking questions. I learned that in college. That's what part of my degree is about. It takes two people to lie. Let's see this failure. I'm not sure what you've gone through, Pisces, but I know that you're not a failure. There's absolutely positively no way that you're a failure. Duality. Did you fail at duality? How could you possibly fail at duality? Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll be like that, though, because sometimes I'm really good at the inside, the feminine part, the feeling part. I am not the best about, like, getting outside of myself and doing something about it, though. I prefer to disassociate. I wish I was joking. So with this duality, we have to remember, Pisces, that good comes with bad. Okay? That's just the way the world is. Light and dark have to exist in the same time to make day. And with the day comes sunlight and then a reprieve. And that reprieve allows us to rest. Most importantly, allows the plants to rest. When plants can rest, they can grow bigger. When they grow bigger, they produce more oxygen. More oxygen leads to more life. Good and bad. That's just how it has to be. Don't feel like a failure, Pisces. If something didn't work out for you, it just means that it wasn't for you. And that's a blessing. That's redirection. Divine timing. Maybe this is just like something we have to sit with for a little while, this feeling of failure. I've been feeling like a failure for almost a year. I lost my job when the pandemic started, and I didn't do anything wrong. I just happened to be the last person they hired. That's it. I went to school, I got my degrees, I did the work, I graduated, and I immediately got a great job. Immediately. And it was a great job. I was very excited about it. I got to work with foreign students from Asia coming to America to be part of our college experience here, just to get a better understanding about how Americans live and go through college. Amazing. I learned to say things in Korean. Means hand me the water, please. It was very, very exciting, but I lost that, and it's been like a very hard time not feeling like a failure, even though it had nothing to do with me. I want a job, but now it's summer, and I feel like kind of gypped. I feel like you made me stay inside all winter, not have a job, and make any money, and now it's summer, and you think, oh, it's the perfect time to get a job. So I'm just kind of like, do I want a job or do I want to wait? Because I plan on spending a lot of time this summer at like the river or like swimming. Yeah, I love swimming. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. But that was me feeling like a failure. And it's possible that in divine timing, God will say, or the universe will say, like, okay, you had this period of whatever, and now we're going to move forward. Personally, I feel like it was a period of rest. I really feel like the universe, like the whole planet needed this pandemic to like just take a few minutes to slow down. Just slow down. I'm sure that everybody somewhere got at least one day off where things were just kind of like, oh. Because when things slow down, it allows everything else an opportunity to catch up with us. I needed a break. I don't know about you, Pisces, but I really did. Before this, I had gone through undergrad and my master's program for like the last 6 years. I haven't had a day off, like at all. I have had school every single day except for Saturdays and Sundays, which usually I worked or did homework. And then I was in the master's program, which I was also a teaching instructor. I needed a break. I'm not saying that I've used this break to the best of my abilities, but I have used it to rest. I am so tired of sleeping. I'm tired all the time still, but I'm so tired of sleeping. And how many Pisces do you know that say that? Yeah. I need to get out of the house. But that could just be a divine timing thing. I've put in applications for jobs. I am highly qualified. I just don't find anything that's right for me yet. And I don't see that as failing either, actually. I see that as a positive thing because I'd really rather not go from having like an amazing job to something crappy that I don't like. I would really rather just wait until I find something that speaks to me again. And that could just come in divine timing. So I'm so sorry that took a long time, but like, I'm just trying to give you an example of like how it's okay to feel like a failure, but like how you might not actually be a failure. Because when I tell people, oh my God, I feel like a giant loser, everyone's always like, you're not a loser. It wasn't even your fault. You're doing the best that you can. Okay? So don't feel like a failure. Let's look at this ruin. Omens. The universe might be sending you omens to let you know that this ruin or this ego death is for your better good. The psychic development. There you go. Okay, so I used that example of the geode, right? So the geode or the crystals are like amethyst or like aquamarine, or even I think Aquarius is even a stone, but all of that comes from inside of those rocks, right? And those rocks have to be broken. So I said that ego death was like polishing up that outside of that rock. Our ego gets in the way of our intuition. Our ego was like the cap that we basically use to protect ourselves. Protect, because we're not really doing a very good job of it. But it shuts out our intuition. When we hear our ego, we can't hear what's going on inside of us. And so when we drop this ego death is actually a good thing because it allows us to hear our intuition more. We're very intuitive signs, but when we can get into contact with our intuition, it helps us with our lives, it helps with the lives of those around us. Pisces and Virgo, and we are a sign of service and healing. We're here to help other people, which is what I'm trying to do with all of this. But I want to help myself too. I really do want to grow. I want to ascend. I want to be different. They say Pisces is on their last iteration. Can't wait. Don't want to be here anymore. But if I don't want to be here anymore, that means I have to learn the lessons so that the next iteration I can do something else. I want to come back as like a dog. I don't even want to come back on this planet. I want to come back as a Mars dog, a dog on Mars. I don't know what that's like or if there are dogs on Mars, but sign me up for Mars, okay? I am fucking sick of this shit. Allowing yourself to go through this ego death will help you be more in touch with your psychic abilities, which I believe to be intuition. The universe says you can't depend, the universe says you can't depend on the hanged man energy anymore. There isn't a new perspective. You have the new perspective. The universe has given you this new perspective. Work inside of that. New beginnings. And anger. Probably gonna have to let go of a lot of that. Don't get me wrong, anger is a great motivator. I'll never tell you anything different. If you are angry, use that to move yourself. Don't use that to hurt other people. Don't use that as like, ammunition. Use it for yourself as motivation to move. The Hangman, okay? The universe says it's time to come down from our tree because we need grounding. We need more stability. We've been swinging in the wind, coming up with how to deal with the situation, and we did it. And now it's time to get down and ground ourselves. I bet you that masculine energy is going to come up because that's the thing I'm not very good at. Oh, the truth. Okay? We know the truth now. I can think of what this is about in my life. I really hope that you can think about what this is in your life. Truth comes to us in a lot of different ways. Sometimes in the morning, I'll just like wake up and I'll already be thinking a thought, but the thought that I'm thinking is not something that I gave myself. And I think that's what they call downloads, is like how you know something. You don't know how you know it. That's your intuition. You don't know how you know it, you just kind of know it. You know the truth. And so you can come down from your tree now. So the universe wants us to acknowledge this death and rebirth. Death happened. At some point, it did. That's our failure. That's that sense of ruin. The death happened. And now we're going through this rebirth, which is our self-nurturing, gorgeous energy. Don't stop that. Never give up on that. Never. Just constantly just be pulling in nurturing energy from wherever you can find it. If you can figure out how to nurture yourself too, like I said, that part is really, really difficult. If you can figure out how to do that, definitely do that. But never stop. Never stop. Because we're learning. The universe is teaching us. Like I said, we've gone through our lesson. This is the test. The test is over, okay? We've gone through our lesson. We went through the test. We passed the test. And I know that we passed the test because it says we no longer have to sit here. We don't have to hang upside down anymore. We passed the test. It was the test about perception. What could we perceive, Pisces? We're supposed to be the most perceptive, which is crazy because I wear glasses and can't see 10 feet in front of me. I can't. If I take these off, the only reason I know what's on the wall is because I made that. I think that the lesson or the test that we were being tested on is our perception. And then the universe says that their message to us is the sun. So we went through this death and this rebirth based on our perception. And now we're going to have like a new day. A sunny new day. Lots of energy. Lots of insight. It's coming. It's coming. But it's slow but steady. And it's all good, Pisces. It's all good. So what I see here, more accurately, is that we need to get out of this ruin energy. We need to acknowledge it, but move away from it because we're not failures. We went through a test and we might feel like failures, but the truth is that we passed that test and we can come down from our tree now. Whatever it was that you went through, whatever it was the universe gave you, because they did give you something. Maybe you feel like you're still waiting for it, but the universe is saying there's nothing else coming. You have the information. You went through the test. You passed the test. It might not feel good right now because you have this death and rebirth. Oof. Might not feel good right now. But the sun is the outcome. The sun is your message from spirit. So you did a great job. Just don't stay in that failure or that ruin energy, okay, Pisces? I'm sorry that ours is always so short. I just feel like there's so much less to clarify because I feel like the messages come out. Like, I understand them. If you need any clarification or if you want like a personal individualized message, go ahead. My email address is in the box below. I have a really weird schedule right now, so I'm just pre-recording them and then sending them to you. I hope that's okay. Thank you for accepting that. But yeah, just to recap really quickly, Pisces, you're in this self-nurturing energy and it's beautiful. Honest to goodness, that could have been the test. Literally, it could have. Self-nurturing. The universe might have wanted to know that you could take care of yourself. And you can. Maybe it didn't make you feel very good. Maybe it was actually harder than you thought. Or maybe you feel like you didn't do a good job. I'm so good at that. I'm so good at feeling like things are my fault even when they're not, even when nothing's wrong. Maybe that's what you felt like. Maybe you feel like you went through the test and you didn't do a good job, and so you feel like a failure. But the universe is saying you did pass. You did pass because now we get to come down from that hangman energy, but also because you learned how to be self-nurturing. I don't do relationships readings, but they say that when we're like in a soulmate relationship or like a twin flame or whatever, we're supposed to try to figure out or try to look at what it is we want from the other person, and then apparently that's what we're supposed to give ourselves. But the thing that I always want is excitement. And I don't know if you've seen any of these videos, but I'm freaking exciting already. Like, I want someone to have exciting times with. But another thing that I really desperately want is safety. I'm not saying that a woman has to be with a man to be safe, but I am saying that there are tons of things I want to do, and I don't believe enough in my own ability to be alone and get them done. One, I have great ideas, but I'm not super good at like doing them, like getting them going. So I need somebody who's more grounded than I am. I'm not saying all men are grounded better than I am, but I am saying a lot of men are more grounded than I am. Two, I tend to be somebody who is kind of more focused on, the stuff up here and less the stuff down there, which is another reason I need stability, but also it kind of leaves me vulnerable a lot of the time. Again, I'm not good with sarcasm either. So I just want someone to help protect me, to keep me safe. And so I was thinking about that really hard, like, if that's what you want from your partner, then that's what you need to give yourself. So I'm buying a gun. I am in no way joking about this. I live in a state where we have conceal and carry laws. Come at me, bro. I dare you. Oh, and stand your ground. We're also a stand your ground state. Yeah. It's scary to think about it, actually. Because so many people could be walking around with guns all the time. And another reason I feel like I need to be safe. So maybe you feel like you didn't pass this test, but the universe is saying that you did pass the test, Pisces. That it gave you clarity, that you're no longer waiting for this. Acknowledge that you have the answers that you need. Acknowledge that it might not have gone in the way that you wanted to. Acknowledge that the reward for this is probably that ego death. That's probably your reward. And because that ego had to be rubbed away, now we're going through this death and rebirth. But it's okay. Don't worry about the death and rebirth, Pisces. We will still be ourselves no matter what happens. And the universe is telling us that we have a reward coming. Yes, our reward is that ego death, is that stripping away of part of ourselves that kept us from feeling things, whatever it was that is going on in your spread. But that's done now. Your reward here is that ego death. Your reward is the Queen of Pentacles. Your reward is this rebirth, but also the sun, okay? And the sun to me is always like new beginnings, new day, happy times, lots of energy, and illumination, clarity. This is a really, really good spread. I'm actually going to take a picture of just the spread because I think the way that this came out is clear. All right, Pisces, if you want to talk, I have an Instagram, self-love shaman. There's like underscores, so self_love_shaman on Instagram. Hit me up. Or I have an email address in the box below. I hope you have a good day. Thanks, Pisces.